This video is not intended to encourage or glorify any kind of drug use. The sole purpose of these videos is to educate you on the dangers of what these substances can do to you. Please do not do any of the acts mentioned in this video. I repeat, do not do any of the acts mentioned in this video.
Welcome to the world of Tales from the Trip.
If you have Discord and you haven't joined the official Tales from the Trip server, please do it. It is very fun and people are very respectable there. I have become very active in the past couple months, and I really enjoy talking to people in there. The link to join will be in the description below. Thank you. It all began on a boring Wednesday night. The past few nights I've been experimenting with Soma and Flexerol. They were okay but gave me a bit of dead feeling in my limbs, nothing extreme, so I decided to try something new. I have been off Lexapro for about 4 months and I had a ton of them just laying around in my house, so I decided to take a big dose of them and see how they affected me at a high dose. For some reason I didn't seem to think it would do anything because I had taken it so many times, so I decided to pop 10 of them. They come in 10 milligram tablets. About an hour later, I wasn't feeling anything, so I decided to take a Flexerol and get all nice and relaxed and go to sleep. About 40 minutes feeling nicely relaxed, I went to bed at about 11. I fell into a deep sleep quickly, clear-headed and happy. All of a sudden, it was midnight. I woke up in a cold sweat to someone screaming at me. I didn't know what to think. I quickly looked around the room. Nothing. Figured I was dreaming and just woke up. Then I fell back to sleep. 20 minutes later, I woke up again. All I could see when I opened my eyes was a long, dark hall. I thought I was dreaming, so I slapped myself and started talking to myself. I was awake, and all I could see was this hall, unmoving in my sight, just fixed there. I sat and looked at the hall for about an hour. I couldn't do much. I couldn't see at all. Then the weirdest thing began to happen. The realest hallucination I have ever encountered. People screaming, sounded like thousands of them. I couldn't make it stop. This kept on going until about 4 o'clock, then they stopped, and I could see again. I felt disturbed to say the least. This was the scariest thing I have ever encountered. It's now been 3 days and I'm still encountering problems. My eyes are still very dilated. They won't contract at all. I think if it doesn't fix itself in a few days, I'm going to see a doctor. Also, I have been noticing that I feel almost low, like something is bothering me a lot, but I don't know what it is. Also, I still have cotton mouth. It's not pleasant. The trip was scary, to say the least. I had a fairly moderate dependence on Valium for a couple months in 2015, which I recovered from almost 9 months ago. It was a pretty intense cold turkey withdrawal, but it didn't prepare me for baclofen. I was recently in a pretty bad horse riding accident, which resulted in severe muscular spasticity in my lower back. The pain was uncanny. I was prescribed tizanidine, which didn't help. The doc wanted to prescribe lorazepam, but I said no way in hell. He prescribed me hydrocodone, which made me nauseous, so I stopped after 1 pill. He then put me on a course of high-dose baclofen, 120 milligrams per day in 4 doses, for only 5 days to relieve the spasticity until my surgery date. He assured me that 5 days can, in no way, cause even mild withdrawals, even given my benzo history. It was very powerful. Within 30 minutes of my dose, the pain and spasticity were history. It had mood-elevating effects, very dopaminergic, and wore off in 4.5 hours. Fast forward, it was the day before my surgery. As directed, I stopped taking baclofen. Cue the nightmare. As I have come to learn, nothing in this life prepared me in the slightest for baclofen withdrawals. After 4 hours of the last dose, my body started burning up. I felt very hot needles poking each part. I was drifting in and out of consciousness, extremely vivid and terrorizing nightmares, extreme agitation, vivid open-eye hallucinations, seeing dead relatives walking around, projectile vomiting, nausea, seizures, troubled breathing, sluggish walking, slurred speaking, unbelievable psychotic episodes, reality breaks, severe itching, dry retching, ungodly pain, believed to irony to ensure no anxiety ensues at all. Suicidal ideation, never been closer to putting a bullet in my brain. I called my doctor and started the conversation with, "What in the fuck did you do to me, you sack of shit?" He got pissed and told me I am overreacting. Sure, seizures are definitely dramatic mishaps. The 5 days of baclofen made me wish I could instead be living through my Valium withdrawals again. Admittedly, I despise gabapentinoids more than any class of drugs. I would rather drink cyanide on an empty stomach than touch pregabalin. All of them, and baclofen, are over the counter where I live, so I went to the pharmacy and grabbed 20 100mg gabapentin packs. I took one, and all my baclofen withdrawal is gone. I am very, very well aware that gabapentin can cause its own withdrawals too, but I am using a very low dose once a day, and the baclofen withdrawals are subsiding. Today, I took only half a gabapentin, and I am alright. My surgery was delayed, and I changed my doctor. Fuck that guy. Just because a doctor says something sketchy doesn't mean it is right. My first benzo prescribing doctor assured me that I will only experience withdrawals if I took the Valium in very high doses for 6+ months, and oh, was he wrong. I am just surprised baclofen is made without being as scheduled as a controlled substance. Sorry for the long rant, but I am pissed at myself for not questioning my doctor. I have lived through withdrawals, and I should have learned my lesson, but I feel like shit for not looking for myself. Also, you guys are as open-minded as it gets, and I don't feel as supported anywhere else. I had to tell this to someone who gets it. Being on a hiatus from weed due to a deal with my parents, I've been in sort of a chasing the dragon mode for a year or two. It started when I broke my wrist and got a Percocet and Vicodin prescription. When I came across some Vicodin about a year later, I forgot how much I missed it. When I ran out, I'd tell doctors that I had back pain, hoping they'd take pity on me. Sadly, it was harder than I thought to get. One of my doctors gave me some methocarbamol, a muscle relaxer, as a substitute. I took 1 or 2 from time to time for a few weeks with little effect. One day at work, I decided to chill out and take 3 methocarbamols. 11:30 a.m., I take the 3 pills. 12 p.m., I start to feel dizzy and unknowingly black out. 30 minutes later, my office mate wakes me up saying I was making strange sounds that sounded like snoring. I feel sick and throw up. After my friend helps me down to the nurse, she advises I go to the ER. I'm sweating profusely and can't see straight. 1:15 p.m., I'm in the ambulance but starting to feel better. I drink some water and tell the medics I'm an idiot. 2 p.m., after talking with a few doctors, I am ready to go home. Please be careful before taking this medication. Overdosing was quite uncomfortable and embarrassing. Never touching that shit again. I'll stick to Vicodin. A while back in 2020, I was prescribed 350mg tablets of Soma to treat my muscle spasms. I got a 90-day fill, so when I picked up the prescription, I had 90 tablets. I had the idea to try getting the euphoric effects from it. I remember taking 2 pills and then blacking out. My roommate said he found me asleep on the bathroom floor a few times. I told myself, this bed is very hard. Has my bed always been this hard? I guess it is. I'm going to sleep now. I was told that I went into the bathroom to take my regular meds and I had a seizure and fell, banging my head on the tub, splitting my head open, and giving me a nasty concussion. I don't remember going to the hospital, being there, or coming back. I just recall waking up in my bed and feeling my forehead and felt the stitches, and I got really confused because I couldn't remember anything. A few days later, my mom came to my apartment and opened the door and woke me up. My mom said I was blacked out and really messed up for 5 straight days. This is the closest I've been to time travel. My room looked like a tornado went through it. I learned that during the 5 days, I consumed 50 of the 90 tablets. Other medications were also dispersed around my room. I found pictures on my phone and conversations I don't remember having. Needless to say, I plan to be very careful with Soma. It can cause severe amnesia and a long-lasting blackout. I never felt the euphoria consciously, but I could have been during that blackout. It caused me injuries and much trouble. Several months later, I refilled a Soma and had a similar situation where I appeared really drunk. After that, I never touched Soma again. It's so risky, and I'm glad that during my blackout I didn't do anything stupid that could have killed me. I should have used more harm reduction practices, or better yet, avoided the Soma entirely.